Alright, today we're going to talk about the Yaskawa Motoman. So, this is the getting started. So, to get the darn thing running, there's the robot, and by the way, there is the teach pendant, or they call it the programming pendant. Right there, the PP, which, I think teach pendant sounds better, but anyhow, the programming pendant right there. Then that is attached to the controller. Then the other box where all the various inputs and outputs are hooked up. So, at any rate, how this works is, even though it's on green, when you turn it on, it says on, and it's in red. Go figure. Then here you also turn this one on. That's in our box that controls all of our inputs and outputs and everything else. So once you turn that on, then you look at the controller here, or our teach pendant, or program pendant, and then you can see it's a touch panel, so we'll push the button here. Then you have to click on the back side, press in that little switch, enable switch, and then it says release the enable switch. And I didn't do it fast enough, so it gave me an error. So all I have to do is hit OK. Again, it's a touch screen. Click this again. And again, what I'm going to do is this enable switch, also called a dead man switch, a detente, just depends on the brand. You click it in halfway. All the way means you're scared like the robot's going to hit you. That shuts the robot off. Or if you just let go of it, that'll shut the robot off. So when you're trying to program it, you click it in halfway. So that's what I mean when we look at the back of our programming pendant, teach pendant. Alright, so let's try that again. We click on the button. Then we click in the back like it shows you. Then it says release it, so we released it. Then it's going to go through its little deal, and then it's ready to go here. Now the first thing you should do, see, and there's all the main menu. And how do you know which size? It says please select a main menu. So there's all these different menus here, and they call them different things. This one's called the main menu because it tells you. It says right down there. This will focus. Main menu. So from the main menu, I believe we click our robot here. And the first thing you should do is, see, the robot can be in any position. And if you don't start it where, let's say somebody else programmed something and it's trying to remember where they left off. It doesn't know that. It knows the home position. So your best bet when you're creating a program and starting a new program is to home the robot. So we go to, like I said, we clicked on robot here. See, it turned blue. Then, if this thing will focus, we go to work home. So work home position. So we click on that. Then all we have to do is press the back switch, the enable switch, and then click on the forward key. See it down here, this forward key? So let's try that. Now it's hard to hold the thing at the same time, so I'm just going to put this down right here for a minute. I'll hold it like this. See if I can do two things at once, which I doubt. And then we will press this forward key and see if the robot will move to where it's supposed to go. The other thing you have to do is, if the robot will not work, then you say, oh, you know what I forgot to do? The motors don't turn on automatically. You have to hit this servo on ready button. And then this will be flashing green. Then what's actually working, it stays lit up green, the servo on button. So click on that. Then see, now it's flashing the button. Okay, so yeah, if nothing works, that's usually the problem. So we'll try that. We'll click on the dead man switch, the enable switch, whatever we want to call it back there, and then hit the forward key. And see, it's moving. The robot is moving very slowly. So what I'll do is, let me get something to hold this. Sorry. To hold my camera here. so you can see what's going on, hopefully. There we go, I think. Maybe it'll take a picture. Yes, it's still working. So we will speed it up by pressing the fast key. So if you look at this, right underneath the flashing green, there's high speed, fast speed, slow. So we'll hit that a couple of times, then it should go much faster. See, now look at the robot move much faster. Before it was going 0.78, now it's going 25. So it's going 25 times faster, so at least. All right. And a little bit about those keys. So let me get back to this here. So again, if I wanted to speed it up, and here's our speeds, right here. See this little triangle that's angled? It's lit up with 3 green. Now when I hit the slow button down here, see there's fast and slow, you'll notice that you're going to lose some of those bars. Slow, slow, and real slow. Then I hit the fast key, boom, boom, boom. Alright, so that's what that does. Then the other important control is this coordinates key. So here is our cursor key where we move stuff around with the arrows. So to highlight something, to be able to change it. So, and I'll show you in a minute, when you want to change something, you, with these arrow keys, it'll move it up, you know, it'll move it right or left or down. Then you'll hit the select button, and then to actually commit into it, then you'll hit the enter button. Or it may have an execute button over here or something. But those are the main keys you need to know to actually do some programming. So you got it? So here's your cursor to move your cursor around, then the select button over here, and then usually enter. And if you hit it several times, then usually it will, typically for most applications of what it needs to do, it will get it to run and all that. So we have it on fast, that's good. Then let's create a program. So let me create a program. So how do you create a program? Well, we want to go back to where we were. I think we can just hit main menu here. I'm sorry. If we want to create something, what do you think you would do of these things that are here? So our choices are job, general, variable, in, out, robot, system info, blah, blah, blah. So job, we want to create a job. We want it to do something. So we click on job. Then it says, what do you want to do? Select a job that's already been created, create a new one, master job, and then you can see your job capacity and cycles and cycle times and all that. We don't need that. We want to create a new job. So let's create a new job. Oh wait, I missed it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Then you'll see all these asterisks across the screen. So how do you get into that? Well, I said if you've got to do something, you know, this moves the cursor around, but if the cursor is already where you want, then the best thing to do to try to figure if it's going to work, try the select key. So we're going to click the select key, and sure enough, there it is. It unveils our little alphabet and all the numbers, so we can type in what we want to call this, title this program. So I'll just say it's test 2 or something. I think I already have a test 1. So test. Alright, and then you hit enter, and they have an enter here. You can hit enter here. Then I can either hit enter a couple more times, or, like I said, right here was enter. Now you come over here on that same touch panel. That way you don't have to go back and forth. You can do everything on this touch screen and hit execute. There, then we have our program. So what it has is the beginning of the program, and the end of the program. Then what you do is you write all the points in between there, what you want it to do, and then if you want it to jump, label, and change, and do subroutines, all that goes in between those two. So the end command is like a CNC command too, like the M02 end of program. So everything's going to be written above that end command line. Okay, so you see the first line, just like a CNC program, 0000, then the next one 0001, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that tells you how many commands the robot can have. Then it can't do anymore. It's not like a CNC program where it's milling out all these different things. It's just going to move something here and there, and you don't need the robot to be able to do as many positions as possible. But that's already what, 9,999 different positions in one command, in one actual program. Now, you can have it referenced to other programs, so then you could get another 999,000. So anyhow, let's just not go there right now. But what I'm saying is you'll have plenty of space. All right, so we got that going. Now the other thing is let's go ahead and create a point. To create a point and move all that, again, you see that you have your servo on. It's flashing, so we don't have to turn that on. But you would have to, in the back here, press that back enable key, detente key, dead man key, whatever you want to call it in the back. All right, and you can hear it click and clunk when it turns on, and you can hear it turning on, all the servos and stuff that move the motors and all that. So you got your X, your Y's, and your Z's. Now, to change that, we were talking about coordinates there, that coordinate key. Right now, see tool select coordinate. Up here, where you see this robot next to this, the speed key over here, it looks like a black robot outline. That is the joint command. That's the fastest command. So in other words, just really one joint moves at a time. So in other words, let's say here was the robot. It would move, it would swing up and down like this. Now, when it's in the XYZ, which is the next one you'd click on, then it would go straight like this. Z would come straight down. It's easier to pick up stuff that way. So moving it quickly, it's better to do the joint because it's just moving one joint at a time, and so it can go a lot faster. When you're trying to keep it going straight in an equal line, in a linear fashion, it has to make 2 or 3 joints at the same time, and only has so much electricity going to it, so it slows the robot down. It's having to coordinate 3 things at the same time. And so what I'm getting at is move it in the joint first, and then when you need to go on a linear path to pick up something just right, then you can switch it to XYZ coordinates. All right, enough said there. Let's move this robot and see what we can do. Again, I'm just going to be pressing. Well, I can do a little bit here. Let me press down halfway here. Hit the X minus so you can see what it does. So there's the X minus going that way. There's the X plus going that way. Then the Y plus that way. See how it's just a joint? One thing's moving. Only one joint is moving. And then the Z, see? Just that one joint is moving for the Z. But it's swinging in an arc. It's not a straight line, say. That's the difference with your joints. All right. So we moved it around a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'll get it close to where I want it and then save it. Now, I could do this again where I could save that as my home position. But later on, you can have home positions inside your a second home position, so it doesn't have to start way out in the middle of nowhere, where the robot home is, and then come back and all that. And where the robot home is, just so you know, because this is in the manual too. I'm trying to cover all the bases so people can get certified. It lines up these joints where there's these little marks. So see how this has a little mark in it? Well, that'll line up with another mark when you have it all lined up with the home position. And same down here, when this thing's lined up with another, you'll see a mark line up with another mark, and so on and so forth. It's just a little nick that's lined up in here. And if it's not on one side, then it's on the other side. All right, it's not tape or anything. You'll see the little indentation in the material. So what I'll do is, just for now, I'll have the home position start in the home that comes from the factory. move it over there, and then I'll make it another spot where we put it for now. So I'm going to push this down, and then just hit the forward key. Oh, let me see, I got to cancel out of this here. Get out of all of this mess here. And then we'll be good. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. In order, you can't be in the middle of doing a program. If you want to get it back to the factory home, you got to hit that robot button again on here. So you hit the robot. You have to hit work home position. Then press down the enable switch in the back, and then hit forward. Right now we're back where we should be. That's the home that it comes from the factory. Like when we uncrated it, that's how it came. Alright, so now we go back to our job, and we can do that. We go to our job, and then we can select a job. So there, test 2. See, you can see it written up there. So I can go back to that job. I can just hit the select button over here. And then there we go. We're back to our job. So now it's time to make some points and all that. So I'm just going to move these keys over here. These X, Y, and Z keys. I don't know if you can see them here. And just jog it around a little by pressing in the enable switch in the back. Have that half down. Move those around and get it over something, deciding on what I want to do here. So, and then, then when I have a point, all I have to do is hit the enter button. The enter button's just down here, and it'll save it for me. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go this way, and then that can be another position. So I can just say enter, and then when I hit enter, as you can see, it created this line of the program in blue. Alright, so now we'll create another one. We'll move it down a little. So I guess that's our Y. Now, if you don't like it moving that way, like I said, what can you do? See, it's only going to go so far that way. So your best bet is to change the coordinates to XYZ. Now that I changed it to XYZ, you can see on this panel here, you see these arrows coming out, and there's a yellow box in there. I gotta watch, it's a touch screen. And so that means it's in our Cartesian coordinate, XYZ, world coordinates. There's a whole bunch of names depending on the robot for the same thing. Alright, so now if I hit the Z or whatever, see, it goes down like that. So I want to turn the head first, and I can go back to the other coordinates too. There we go. And try to straighten it out a little bit and move it back up. Now let's say I was again back in the joint command. I'm going to change my coordinates to XYZ. Then I can like move it up and down a little better. See how it goes straight up and straight down. Alright, so I don't want it too close to the table, because if it goes down quick, if I have everything really fast, it's going to slam into the table and then the whole thing stops and I got to reset it and all that. So we don't want that. So we can have it like that. Then we can change a little bit. There we go. So I'm using the keys. You know, we did the XYZ on the left side. There's XYZ on the right side. I'm using the X plus and X negative, and see, that switches it around a little. See how it tilts it a little bit? So if one side doesn't get it exactly like you want it, then the other side will. So it just depends on what you want to do. Again, it's quicker with your joint commands, because it's just moving one joint at a time. Then I'm going to save that button, so I'm just going to hit the enter key. That point, I should say. So there's that point. Then, you know, I'm going to show you later how to open and close to write it in your actual program. But for now, to open and close the robot, I hit the interlock key and the 1 key at the same time, and it closes. And I don't have to have my hand pressed on the enable switch. So we'll get my thing down here, my camera. So the interlock switch, so here's our teach pendant here, or our programming pendant. Interlock switch, I keep that pressed down and then press the 1 button, because we have it set, our inputs and outputs, we have it set at 1 to open and close the robot. So anyhow, and then if I hit it again, it will, which I'll show you, it will open it. So you don't have to hit number 2 or anything. We just have it set on that one. So if I press interlock, the interlock key, and number 1, it opens it up. I do it again. I'm holding down the interlock the whole time, and then hit 1. There, it's closed. All right, so then I want to go up with this. So then I can just hit, again, pressing the enable switch on the back. I can go Z plus and just go straight up with it. And then hit the enter key, and there's another point. Saved another point. Then let's say I want to move it over somewhere else, maybe on top of the other green block over here, if you can see it there. So let's try if it's, no, it's Y plus, Y negative, I'm sorry. It's the opposite of the FANUC. All right, and then I'll line it up this way where I can see what I'm doing with the X and Y. There, and then that looks pretty much lined up. So we'll bring it down a little bit, Z minus. Don't touch it, leave a little space so when it lets go, we're good. I'll get this block lined up there. That way if it comes down too fast, it's not going to hit it and shut everything off, okay? So then we can go ahead and hit enter. And then I will hit the interlock and 1 key, let it down. And then I will go back up. Let's say Z plus, and then hit enter. And then I got a program with a few points in it. So I suggest you guys do something like that. You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you. Now the deal is, this program is going to run unbelievably slow. The default on this is, if we look at our program, sorry about the glare, it has, you know, the move command, MOV, J joint, VJ 0. It has it at 0.78. So what we want to do is change all that. So all you got to do, and we'll start at the top. Again, I'll use my cursor key here. Move my cursor up to the first line of it. And then I'll move it over with this key. See, now it highlighted that. So then, once it's highlighted and flashing, I will hit the select key. And I'll hit it again. There we go. And then it says VJ something. Well, that's still, I don't want to change that. I want to change the number in there. So I go 1 over. And it's at 7.78. So then I hit select again. So again, I was using the cursor key to move it over. Then I hit the select key, and then see it's highlighted, 0.78. Now I type in 25. Now the thing will move, so I hit enter, enter, enter. Boom, then it finally switches it. So every time I'm hitting enter, it's moving it back one out of all the fields that we're in. Then we'll go ahead and use this cursor key, go down one, and change another one. So I'll hit select, select, and then move it over with our cursor key, right cursor key. Hit select, and type in 25, and then hit enter. Alright, and it is flashing at 25. So then we go down to the next one and hit select, move it over a hair, select, and hit 25, enter, enter, enter. We go down, we only got a couple left here. There's a way to do them all at one time, but just this is good to give you all practice. That way you can hand it around if 2 or 3 of you are working on this. Select, select, move it over one, select, 25, enter, enter, enter. And then one last one, over, yeah. 25, enter, enter, enter. Alright, then we should be in good shape. So now we're going to move it up to the top and see how well that thing runs. Now to make the whole program run, and in fact I'll put this back where it was. I moved the block back from being on top of here because I didn't make one where it's a continuous loop where it goes back and forth. So that way it'll pick it up or not. Oh wait, I don't have it saved where the there's a way I'll show you how to do that where it's going to close the gripper and stuff. We'll do that in the next lesson or so, but let me just do this first so I don't give you too much to do. Alright, so you got that down, and so then when we want to run it, if we look at our programming pendant, teach pendant, whatever you want to call it, we turn it from teach to play. Then we got to hit the enable key again, or servo on ready. See, it lights up and stays lit. Then we should just hit this green button and the darn thing should run. So I'm going to press it in a minute, but I want to see how fast it'll go. Uh-oh. Maybe I should have left the block out of there, because the robot, when it's in joint command, what does the robot do? It always goes the fastest way, and so if that block's in the way, and that's what I wanted to show you, this whole thing stops. Now with this, it gives you a problem. So what you do is you hit the reset button here, and then you will keep it in our coordinates. So we'll hit Z positive here and jog it out of the way. Oh wait, I gotta press them back. Oh, but I can't do that while it's in play mode. So I have to go back to teach mode, hit the servo on switch here, press the enable, make sure it's in the XYZ coordinate, which it is. It's got the little yellow square there. And then I'll just hit Z positive, and that should raise the robot. Yeah, that way it's not going to